The White House falls Ass-Backw.ards into environmental advocacy. Over the past 14 months, under the tutelage of Scott Pruitt, the EPA has rolled back more than 22 regulations aimed at protecting human health and the environment which, in theory but not current practice, is the agency's mission. Where Pruitt hasn't been able to gut rules, he stalled, delaying and slowing the implementation of laws and running interference for many of the sectors the EPA is supposed to regulate. He's issued fewer fines than his predecessors over the same period of time, barred staffers from discussing climate change in public, and, in just one of many gifts to the oil and gas industry, approved a pipeline expansion overseen by a company that previously sent hundreds of thousands of gallons of crude oil gushing into Michigan's Kalamazoo River, as well as other bodies of water. Naturally, he was living in a townhouse owned by said company's then-lobbyist, where he reportedly overstayed his welcome. In fact, Pruitt has done such a good job turning the earth into a highway urinal, the extra grimy kind where the key to the bathroom is attached to a giant steering wheel, that in spite of a series of leaks about his questionable judgment, he's still, as of 4:07 p.m. EST, hanging onto his job. So it was rather curious, on Friday, to read that the Trump administration is examining stricter enforcement of environmental rules on imported vehicles. This Trump administration? The Levin report thought to itself. The Trump administration that, on Monday of this week, announced it would revoke an Obama-era rule requiring cars sold in the U.S. to average more than 50 miles per gallon by 2025. A move viewed as so environmentally toxic that even Chevy wanted nothing to do with it. It turned out that, yes, it is that same administration. But upon further reading, it becomes evident that today's decision has nothing to do with the environment at all. From the Wall Street Journal, Trump has asked the Environmental Protection Agency and several other agencies, including the Commerce and Transportation Departments, to pursue plans to use such laws as the Clean Air Act to subject cars made overseas to strict emission standards testing and reviews when entering the U.S. The rules could effectively require more expensive technology on some foreign cars or subject those cars to more expensive hurdles that can be billed to the manufacturer or importer. Either option would likely raise the costs for foreign cars sold in the U.S., making domestically produced cars cheaper by comparison. This effect of raising prices on consumers is common to most non-tariff barriers, which seek to penalize imports through measures other than tariffs or duties. Incidentally, these sorts of measures have been long condemned by the U.S. when used by other countries. Last month, the confused old man who is the President of the United States told a story about a test he claimed Japan performs on its cars, but that no one else has ever heard of, called the bowling ball test, wherein they take a bowling ball from 20 feet up in the air and drop it on the hood of the car. If the hood dents, the car doesn't qualify. It's horrible. The initiative, which is still in the planning stages and faces significant hurdles to implementation, would likely incense not only consumers, but many of our allies as well, considering European automakers collectively import a greater percentage of cars from plants outside the United States. Japanese and Korean companies, on the flip side, made about 70% of the cars they sold in the U.S. last year in North American plants, another issue that seems lost on the administration? That auto manufacturing takes place all over the globe, which makes it tricky to say which cars are foreign and which are domestic. Roughly 3/4 of the 17.1 million vehicles sold in the U.S. are built in NAFTA factories, including those in the U.S. 11 million are assembled on U.S. soil. Of the remaining nearly 4 million shipped from outside North America, 1.7 million come from Japan, 820,000 are shipped from Korea, and about 500,000 are imported from Germany. All in all, another genius idea from the people who brought you are not a trade war with China. If you would like to receive the Levin report in your inbox daily, click here to subscribe.